Today we're just talking to Después. Hello, how are you? I want to talk about something that's close enough to my heart that it hurts, but that is so incredibly important that it must be addressed. These types of things are things that I think to myself very often, often enough, particularly in times like this. And I generally don't have the opportunity to have answers, right? Because I don't really have people to talk to about things like this. Even therapists are quite useless when it comes down to the types of things that I think usually, especially because a therapist's objective is generally to pacify or yes man or otherwise condone a sort of victim mentality. And, you know, I've gone through the introductory steps of psychology and come to understand these things about it. So let me just say that I'm hoping to really get some answers from some real people with this discussion. And this discussion revolves around loving the world. That is loving people in the world. See, because when I look at things like maturity or the definition of intelligence, which I think is aligned with what we consider to be maturity, uh, I look at the acquisition of information being a gateway, a gateway into understanding the true magnitude of the blessing of life, the glory of life, the beauty of life, you know, the thing that we are developing our patience for, the reason why we um, are doing anything, really, you know, and I would think that is to love the world, to love each other, to understand each other, to make sense of the things of the world, to subdue the world. And I mean, when it comes down to uh, agriculture or I don't know, things you can do on your own, right? Uh, Maybe write something or build something or whatever, you come to make as best sense of it as you can, or you make sense of it and it's just like, boom, like it's beautiful and you can enjoy it, you know, even in the sense of dealing with animals like dogs. Maybe not so much cats. Cats are assholes. Cats don't give a fuck about you. Like cats really are like selfish. Cats tend to be assholes. But dogs and really any animal, because you can subdue them, you can tame them. Um, Especially when it's genuine, right? It's a real harmonious, beautiful thing. It makes sense. There's an understanding. But yet, when it comes down to people, at least in this day and age, people don't want you to love them. People don't want you to understand them. There's a lot of bitch ass shit going on in our society. And then we wonder why we have things like high mortality rates, gender wars, all kinds of just tension between people and things of this nature. And it's this trivialization of what love is and what respect is and what it means to, I guess, be social, right? To be a part of the social environment, to be considered, I guess, a person, right? Like, people don't want you to love them. People want you to abuse them. People want you to rule over them. People want you to run over them and treat them like shit, treat them like trash. People want you to hurt them. But you do all this research on, like, how to fit in. There are so many, videos and books and all kinds of things about how to better acclimate into the environment. But there are so many factors that play into these things that include your skin color, your so-called tone of voice, and just these certain things that we just can't control. And everybody can't follow this. Everybody can't follow those things. As a matter of fact, the more that you realize these things, you realize how much of all of it is an attempt to sacrifice your integrity for other people's validation. And yet people claim that they are authentic or that they want authenticity. Now, most people want to be treated like slaves. Most people want to be sluts. Most people want to be taken advantage of. They want to be figured out, and then they want to be slutted out. You know what I'm saying? People suck. And you try so hard, There are so many people, even Elon Musk, Jesus Christ himself, Socrates, these people, they walk the earth and they're going, man, the glory of life. Like, do you guys not see what, I mean, it's right here in front of our faces, right? Like, how can you not see how magnificent all this stuff is? How can you not how can you not be grateful for one another and, all these different types of things? And people, they just spit in your face, man. Like, they try to make you shut up. They try to make you, you know, become something that you don't want to be. You know how many opportunities that people like me have, and just thoughts in general, to be like, you know what? Fuck all of you. To just call it a day and to want to squash you like a bug. And yet to experience you, even to see that you are a fucking idiot, and still be able to go, wow, you are just another one of God's beautiful creations. You are precious. And to appreciate the fuck out of you, You don't deserve it. And yet we are fools. I'm supposed to consider myself a fool for loving you. Men learn to fight. Men learn to kill. And upon learning to fight and learn to kill, you learn, oh, well, I should be choiceful with this. I should be responsible with this. The more you learn to fight and learn to kill, you don't become more of a brute. You don't become more of a barbarian. You become more mindful and responsible and thoughtful of people. You care more about the world and life. And yet people operate in such a way that they want to be destroyed. People move in such a way where they want the world to end. It is they who should be destroyed. How can you be 30 plus years old and you still have such a nihilistic, pessimistic view on the world? What the fuck have you been doing with your time? What have you been doing with your time to not grasp the glory of life? You are ungrateful. You are a slave. You do not deserve to be taken seriously. And you would dare to look at me as if I am a fool for telling you that I love you? And I'm supposed to feel suicidal? I'm supposed to feel like, oh, my life is worthless and I don't belong because you don't appreciate love, because you're not grateful for life and all that is around you? I wonder for my people who think about these sorts of things and have been able to acquire a certain type of success in dealing with this world. How do you deal with this? Because one of the things for sure is your ability to just treat the sluts like sluts. And don't get me wrong, of course, all right? Like, there's certain limits, there's certain just like boundaries where you're like, okay, you're a slut, I'm gonna treat you like a slut, and that's just it. But for most people, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like it's enough to be able to But it's like, what really is the middle ground? What really is the middle ground? What is the love that you accept? Because again, I cannot help but notice how much people desire to be subordinated. The level of immaturity in our society is pitiful. And I've been thinking about it a lot these past, few days or whatever, just like, it's insane. Like I saw this video with Charleston White and Queens Flip, and you know, Charleston takes the same sort of perspective as a lot of people in this day and age, where they try to say, oh, well, that person's a kid, they're like 14 or whatever, and they just commit a terrible act or whatever, and they don't know what they're doing, right? They have their mom or whatever, and they weren't led right, and but you're trying to send them to prison, and they're going to prison for life, and they don't even get the chance. They're not even a fully developed brain yet. And you see how in society, though, like through the history, how they've intentionally orchestrated this predicament wherein so many children are raised with single mothers, dilapidated families, single mothers, and these mothers and go and they fuck their kids up? When do people finally concede and go, okay, well maybe women, maybe the problem is the single mothers, you know? Because I just look at these people and I'm just like, because I saw this poster or whatever I saw from another person. They said, or maybe it was still Charleston, where he's talking about how, you know, these kids or whatever, they don't really know what to follow or something like this, or they don't really know how to move. The issue is that they have not. It's something like these kids don't know like what to. You don't know what's enough for these kids, or you don't know how to. They have never really experienced integrity in their lives. What it means for a man to keep his word, and thus an example for them to be able to keep their word. And when you just see all of this tomfoolery, this bullshit, this lack of direction, oh no, that be whatever you want, all the way down to you're not there's not just a male and female and all this bullshit, right? How do you expect to be there to be any order in this? And you call yourself proud? Or you call yourself right or correct? You call yourself wise or smart or a leader? The world does not want you to love it. I don't know why. I can't put it down for every single bit. I can speak on these small but very big things of reasons why the world doesn't want you to love it. The world, everybody wants you to hate them. Everybody wants you to treat them like shit. And hey, look, hey, look. Let me just tell you, I'm working on it. And I've been working on it. I've been working on it. Now, I know it's not everybody, but who is it? Who is it that knows that there is so much to live for and to love for and to have gratitude for? Where are you? Where are you? Because, brother, I'm telling you, Thanos did nothing wrong. Those with ears, let them hear.